Hi, Redbud families. I wanted to talk to you a little bit more about language. Children have sensitive periods, and one of the longest and the strongest sensitive periods is the sensitive period for language. They start watching our mouths move as soon as they're born, and they're listening to our voices even before that. So they're absorbing all of that rich language so they can acquire it and internalize it and communicate. So it's a very strong drive, and we can aid in this drive in many, many, many ways. So while we're at home, I know I talked a lot about sandpaper letters, but even before that, use specific language with children. So there's, you could say a dog, or you could say the specific kind of dog that you're talking about, right? So use all those exact words. They could learn the names of the plants in their house. They can learn the names of the birds that they see, the specific names. So any way that you can engage them in expanding the amount of language they get is a really nice way to incorporate it in your daily life. So obviously reading books is a really good way to help them with language. There's doing rhyming, reading rhymes, memorizing nursery rhymes together. That's a really fun way to incorporate language work in your day. There's some other ways like sound games. And so sometimes when we're exploring sounds, we'll have a few objects, but these could be things around their house. And we play a game like called I Spy. So I would take maybe like the dog, the pig, and the rat. But if you have little toys at your house, it doesn't really matter what it is, or just objects around the house. So you can play a game with the children. I spy with my little eye something that starts with pa, 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 pa. I wonder which one it is. I wonder where it is. And see if they can find the pa, pa, pig, right? And so it might help if you say the words before and exaggerate the sounds. So I could say, I have a dog, a pa pig, a rat, right? Or whatever it is at your house. It doesn't have to be little animals, really. It could be anything. And then once they get really good at playing the game with some isolated objects, you know, a limited amount of objects, you could expand out into the larger house environment, right? So you could say, bring me something that starts with pa, pa, pa. And they might bring you a pencil or a pot or a pan or a plant. So I would say always start with a limited number so that they can build that skill. And then as they grow and practice, you can go out into the larger environment. But this is a good way to work with those sounds. And so I would say start with the beginning sounds of objects, and then if they're getting really good at that and they're enjoying it, you can try to move to the end sounds, right? So I spy with my little eye something that has the ending sound of t, 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 rat. And it's a little bit harder, a little bit more of a challenge. And then if they get really, really good, we can try the middle sounds. But this is a fun way to explore listening for those sounds as they're learning the sounds with the symbols, right? So we're connecting the sound and the symbol together. So this is a nice way to do that. There's some other ways too, like we use these language cards, and you don't have to have these special cards, but basically we play them as a matching game. It's like this is insects, and it has just lots of different insects, and they have pictures, butterflies. Maybe you have a memory match game at home, or maybe you just want to explore in a book, but the point is to give them very specific things. And for the young child, it can be as simple as naming things in the kitchen, right? Giving the exact name for things in the kitchen. We have cards that are just silverware, dishwasher, microwave, you know, the things in their environment that they might be craving that language for. That's the young child. And then the older child might want some more extensive language, like these kind of cards. Or we have ballet cards, or we have mammal cards, or we have headdresses from around the world cards. It goes on and on and on. But you can do this with books too. If you have a book, or pictures or however you want to do it. Mainly, I'm encouraging you to use really rich and exact language with the children in your life. These are just vegetable cards, so giving them the exact name or the things that they're eating and kind of exploring different things, leeks, beans. These kind of cards help them work on this by themselves, but at first we have to give them that language, right? And so I would introduce them by me helping them learn the names, and then they would go on to do the matching. Like I said, everything can be adjusted for at home. We're not expecting you to have a school pop up in 1 week. So there's, if you're interested, there are some different printables I could give links to if you wanted to reach out to me on emails for some of this stuff. But often it's things you can just work on at home. So I just wanted to kind of give you another idea about language that's not just doing the sandpaper letters, it's doing all those other things, having really rich conversations and reading stories and doing rhymes and listening to sounds and finding letters in the environment. You know, if you're out on a walk and you see a stop sign, or if you're looking at a magazine together, a book, they can point out the sounds. There's so many ways to incorporate it in your daily life. So don't worry, it's all around you and you're gonna get it. All right.